Good morning. Good morning. You may got a whistle. Okay, good morning everybody. Thank you for coming. We have a very full schedule today, so we're going to sort of get right into it. A little quick update for those of you who are baseball fans. Texas scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th to tie it at 5-5, and I just checked and there's 2 outs at 5-5 in the bottom of the 9th. I was hoping to announce an Arizona victory, but that's not going to happen quite yet. Maybe when I come back. One quick thing, we weren't aware of it or we would have tried to publicize it, but if you will go over into the corner, the Melia has a stand over there that if you want to slip out and go do it, you can do that. If you sign up on it or take a little scan on your barcode, it's going to bring up like a 3-question survey for TripAdvisor, and it benefits the Melia, and you get a free drink. So whatever, they've got it all out there. So if you'd like to take advantage of that, they would appreciate it. They've got some sodas and juices and things like that, a little bit different than the coffee and tea. And they will be out there if you want to do it later on too. Okay, our first speaker today is Lamorna Cheeseman, who is from Studio Nana. One of the things we like to do is bring somebody in to talk to us about interesting subjects that are pertinent to our existence and our life here in Chiang Mai, and fabrics is certainly one of those subjects. So we are looking forward to hearing all about that. Lamorna?
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here to just share a little bit about myself and the textiles and handloom textiles of Chiang Mai. As you can see, I work with Studio Nana Textiles, and I've been here for quite a while. My mum brought me here when I was just 8 years old, and I did start to play around on the looms, and it has been 35 years already now. So it's been an amazing life growing up here, and being able to learn the language and be fluent in Thai, and to be able then to work with weavers within their communities and support them and bring them out, bring their products out. And I've got some things on display here. But a little bit about me. So I grew up here in Chiang Mai and went to Australia to do my further education. And when my mother was writing her book, she asked me to come back and help with Studio Nana Textiles, and here I am. It's been 20 years now since I've been back. But I've seen a lot of change here in Chiang Mai over the years. I'm sure a lot of you who have been here over the years have seen the changes happen as well. And handloom textiles are not, they have also had some changes. Of course, if you look back into the history of textiles and the traditional textiles of this region, of course, Chiang Mai was known as Lana, and we still use the word Lana to describe the area. The classic style of the Lana dress is to have these horizontal stripes. And with the ladies that were going to the temple in the center photo there, at the hem of the skirt, they have a very ornate, what they call a dinjo, or the supplementary hem of the skirt there. Supplementary is where they do embroidery on the loom, whereas with the horizontal stripes in the skirt, they would just do a very plain weave. And the picture on the far left there, on my far left, of course your right, is actually a picture of one of the court ladies, and their textiles were on a different level. They would be able to import textiles from the West, mainly for the blouses is lace from Europe, and the skirts were made with immaculate brocades with silk and also gold and silver threads. Now, the north of Thailand here, they're very strong Buddhists. So from far, all the way back for hundreds of years, they didn't actually grow and rear their own silk. They did work with cotton though. So most of the textiles that were created in this area over the years are in cotton. Silk, of course, came in later, and it is part of the industry now, and you can see some businesses just up in the Sankampang area that are working with silk now. But in the olden times, they would not work with silk, and what they would do is actually commission weavers in Laos to weave textiles for the courts, and then bring them over to be worn in the courts here in Thailand, in Chiang Mai. As you know, silk is made from the silk worm, and then they create their cocoons from your right to left here with the cocoons, and then the raw silk is actually not a very fine yarn at all in the beginning. It's quite rough and tough, so it's got a lot of gum on it, and to degum it is using ash water traditionally, and then the silk yarn is then, the gum is taken off, and then you have the fabulous white threads that can be then made into different garments if then tied and dyed and things like that. So the common areas around Chiang Mai now that are still weaving is in Jomtong area and in Horn and also Lamphun. But of course, from these very basic handlooms, small handlooms that you see like in the photo here, the production of fabrics has been more demanding, and they've gone on to working with fly shuttle looms and semi-mechanical looms as well. But we of course prefer at our studio to work with those handwoven textiles because it also allows the older weavers to continue on their crafts, and just the feel of the textiles is a lot different to machine woven fabrics. Some of the great producers and makers here in Chiang Mai, the market, of course, from those very basic, I would say, scarves and shawls and textiles that were used and are sold in the markets here today, like in the walking street, and you can also see it, of course, in Bororot market and things like that. But there are some brands that have uplifted and upgraded their products and their production to become international grades, such as Torbun. I don't know if anybody is familiar with them. They are a wonderful company based in Chiang Mai and weaving their own fabrics and creating bags with leather and cotton fabric mainly. Another wonderful brand is called Cotton Farm. They've got a shop just above the ceramics shop on Tapair Road. Cotton Farm tends to do a lot of what those classic stripes are, but into a modern colorway. And so you can go and visit their shop and see some of the products that they're making, but also they're working with designers, Thai designers, and then taking this very basic stripe from the Lana style skirts all the way onto the runway overseas. So that's something to look out for and to go and have a visit and see. Another brand here in Chiang Mai is called Uk, and that's the one up on the top over there. Uk is actually a development from the Buapat factory production. Buapat works with rugs, making rugs and things like that. And Uk is one of the first companies to explore eco-printing in Chiang Mai. And you can go and visit their businesses and also do workshops of eco-printing with them as well, okay? But of course, there are so many areas of Chiang Mai also that you can see where the textiles are being sold, and with the higher qualities like around Nimman Soi 1. There's also the White Market, Jingjai Market. You can go and visit, and of course now we've got one of our members here today who has the Gasian Market, which has got amazing crafts from retirees. So we have an abundance in Chiang Mai. We're so lucky actually to be able to have the access to a variety of price ranges of textile materials and also of different ethnicity groups with their techniques and things like that. So one of the groups that we work with is the Karen backstrap loom weavers, and this is a very traditional style of weaving with the supplementary weave, meaning the embroidery on the loom, and it's very ornate and takes a lot of time. But how to bring these fabrics into a more modern context, and you can see we have done here with the cushions and the bags, to try and continue on with the structure of the loom, so we're not taking them away from their traditional cultures, but also working with them to create products that can be used in modern day and can be enjoyed by a bigger public. But one of the key techniques that we work with, and is a beautiful technique, and that is called ikat. And in Thai it is called mat mi. And ikat is a technique where the patterns are tied and dyed onto the thread before the fabric is woven. So there's a whole series of steps in processing the yarns to prepare them to then be able to tie the pattern, as you can see here, and then after tying and dyeing, then untying and unwinding to then weave into a fabric on the basic standing loom. Ikat can be done in silk and cotton, and also silk and cotton blends. The main group that we work with is for the Weavers for the Environment, and that aims to support weavers within their community so they can maintain their traditional lifestyle, as long as take care of parents, take care of young children, take care of grandchildren even sometimes, and also to be part of the community and continue the agricultural family lives as they have done in the past. But to uplift those products and bring them to the modern market like this is our job at Studio Nana, to be creative in terms of colour and design, and also to be able to market the products so that the weavers can continue their livelihoods and be sustainable within their communities. So, of course, one of our favourite colours is indigo, and just another examples of the products that we make. And of course, I can't finish my talk without giving recognition. This is me and my mother, Patricia Cheeseman, and she is the one that founded Studio Nana and brought me here to Chiang Mai many, many years ago. And her connection with the weavers allowed us to start the business that we have, with the aims to support the weavers, but also to be able to support ourselves and our livelihoods living here in this wonderful city of Chiang Mai. Thank you. I'd like to open the floor for any questions about textiles in Chiang Mai. It doesn't have to be about my business. I'm happy to answer any questions. Yes?
Are most of the inks you're using, are they locally produced, or are they organic, or are they commercial dyes? Sorry. Are the inks you're using for dyeing, are they locally, organically produced, or are they commercially coming from around the world, or how's that working?
Great question, thank you. Basically, working with dyes, there is the natural dyes that we do source locally, like with the indigo, we grow our own indigo and make the paste, which is a lovely process. And we do actually do workshops, so if anybody's interested, please go to our Facebook page and you can participate in the natural indigo making from plant to paste workshops. But in terms of synthetic dyes, so natural dyes can only achieve a small, I would say, variety of colours. But if you want to get into the intense reds and purples and turquoise, you need to start working with synthetic dyes. So yes, we do work with those as well, and sometimes import them. Yeah. Just 1 second, there's one person.
Thank you for the interesting talk. I read somewhere that some of the intricate patterns on the fabrics are traditionally made in order to ward off evil spirits.
Yes.
Can you tell us something about that, please?
Oh, wow. How much time do we have? Basically, what you have to think about is that before Buddhism was in this area, it was animistic beliefs. So yes, warding off bad spirits, but also having respect and welcoming in the ancestors to give protection to the people. Of course, the diamond shape is always related to either a lantern, which is always giving light to the person wearing it and also guiding them in the right direction. And again, also, yes, driving away the bad spirits. Thank you. And in the front here?
Just on this comment just now, when you said bringing light,
Yeah.
you said, would that be sort of in a spiritual way too?
Yes.
Bringing light?
Yes.
In guidance.
In guidance, yes. Yes.
My question was, I've seen a lot of, or I have friends who are Guatemalan Mayans, and they weave. And I often wonder, how does this happen in the world, that you have these very common practices? Did they all arise individually? Or is it that it was passed thousands of years ago and we don't?
Yeah, I think the basic research is that, yes, human beings did evolve in different areas, and yes, weaving evolved from us wearing just barks and things like that, then to creating threads and then weaving, interlocking those threads together. Now, of course, from back in the time when people had nomadic lifestyles, having a loom that is like a backstrap loom that is tied using your body weight to create the tension on the loom is practical, rather than having a huge standing loom that had to be knocked down and then reconstructed again after moving because they were nomadic. But of course, with the patterns, you see a lot of repeating in different cultures and different, like a basic diamond. You see it everywhere. You see it in Europe, you see it in Southern America, you also see it here in Southeast Asia. And I believe that is because when you're thinking of a weave, it's like a grid. You've got the warp and you've got the weft overlapping, and then therefore you're creating like little cubes. And as soon as you start with one cube and you go up a step and then you go up a step, it's basically a diamond, half a diamond and being created, and then you close it up again. So when you have that basic graph-like, you're always going to be working within steps, and of course diamonds and boxes and things like that start, and then from there it can continue and become more elaborate. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yes, Lenore. I love ikat, you
Yes.
know that. Approximately how long does it take for one of your weavers to weave an ikat scarf like what you have on?
Yeah. Well, the weaving time is actually just the finishing process. So weaving may be 1 to 1.5 days for a scarf, but keep in mind there is 3 weeks of preparation of the yarns before the wet fabrics can actually be woven. So yeah, it does take time. Yes?
Is there, you mentioned the group that you work with
Yes.
south of Chiang Mai. Is it possible for people to go and visit that community, or is there another place that you can visit people in the weaving process here?
To be honest with you, the weavers just south of Chiang Mai that we work with, they prefer not having people to come and visit because they don't even know if they're going to be home that day. I don't have them clocking in 9 to 5. They work within their own time, and they might be having to go and help with another family's agricultural grounds, or picking fruit, or planting rice. So their livelihoods are up to them how their daily schedule is up to them how they want to structure it and things like that. So it's hard to say, oh, you can just rock up and see what's some weaving happening. And sadly, like even though you used to be able to go to Jomtong area and go and drive around, and you will see looms underneath the houses, and if you're lucky enough, you'll be able to see a woman there, and you can walk in and go and see them and just view that. But now it's changed. Those villages have the downstairs that used to have looms in them, but tend to have walls now, and the fences are up and things like that. So the whole dynamic of being able to go into a community and see weaving is very difficult now. I can't, maybe in Hart area, you could maybe go and see some weaving there, but Tom, I don't think so. Sorry to say that though. But if you want to see backstrap loom weaving, you can come to Studio Nana. We have a weaver there on a daily basis. So, yeah. If no more questions?